Good morning, everybody. Oh, day two. Are we all excited about day two? Yes. Day one. Quick show of hands. Who was here yesterday? Yes. Awesome day. Loads of takeaways. Do you agree? I will be referencing some people. I hope you don't mind. For those of you who weren't here, catch up on the replay. So, I am Vicky. I am a lifestyle coach, an integrative health and nutrition coach, and my specialism now is in helping people with food addiction, alcohol addiction, and I have no idea why these slides are moving all on their own, because I haven't touched a thing. And I'm here to share with you how we can reverse the obesity crisis. We know, without too much detail, that there is a lot of money to be made in obesity. The food industry, big pharma, fitness gyms, and slimming industry all want a piece of the pie. It's not in their interests for people like us to succeed. And so it's no surprise that we keep going round and round in circles with what we keep offering. More drugs, workouts, different ways of losing weight that aren't succeeding long term. Because, as already been shared yesterday, weight is not the issue, it's a symptom. And if we continue to keep on treating the symptom and not the root cause, we will always have an obesity crisis. So you may be wondering, what do I know? This person, I haven't got a master's degree, I'm not a scientist. What on earth do I know about this stuff? Lived experience is what I know, and a lot of research of my own accord. Because when I wanted to find out about what was wrong with me when I was a kid, I didn't know where to find out. There wasn't the internet. I had to go to places like the library. Why was I eating food and couldn't stop? Why did I fixate on half a Mars bar that my brother had left in his blazer pocket? And I just wanted to eat it now. What was the matter with me? I didn't know. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about what's brought me here today and how I've changed over the years. I've been in the world of health and fitness from age 21. It was a brilliant excuse to become a personal trainer and fitness instructor to hide my bulimia and my exercise addiction. What a wonderful place to be. Somewhere where I could work out 24/7 if I wanted, could advise people on what to do, except I wasn't doing it myself. But for me, that environment taught me very early on that there was so much I was never, ever taught on my course. I didn't know about hormones. My second client was a woman going through something called menopause. I was 21. I'd just qualified. No clue. Google wasn't a thing back then. Libraries, right? Research, finding out stuff for myself is how I started. And frankly, I've never stopped, which is why in 2023, I am astounded that we are still trying to chop the body off at the head and separate mental health from physical health. Why are we doing it? We are a whole person. Everything is connected to everything else. So why are we trying to treat separate bits? Confusion reigned through. This is me and the reason why I'm here today. Let me take you back. This is March 2018. And yep, that's me on trolley in a hospital in the A&E department of the Royal Free in Hampstead, London. The very smiley and very friendly Dr. Patel has just said, Mrs. Midwood. Why do they talk to you like you're deaf? Does anybody know? Mrs. Midwood, you've just had a heart attack. We need to get you to surgery immediately. What? I'm 49 years old. Do you mean I've just had a heart attack? And oh, shoot, I hope they've got a decent surgeon. It's 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Those were the two thoughts that went through my head. Now, obviously, I was in a couple of days. I had a stent fitted. I was forced to take stock for a moment. And I did. And I looked at the amount of pressure and stress that I had been under. My dad had died. I was a single parent. I was working from 5 a.m. till 9 p.m., usually 7 days a week. 3 weeks before I landed up there, I just buried my mom. So the timing was not a surprise, but it was a bit of a shock to the system. I can say that. The reason why I've got a smile on my face, though, which seems bizarre. You've just had a heart attack. You've just had a stent fitted. You're in hospital and you're smiling, was because I knew it was going to happen at some point. It wasn't a case of if, it was just a case of when. So why did I know? I'd spent 3 years trying to find out what was the matter with me, toing and froing to doctors, to GPs. First of all, it's a virus. Go home and rest. Next, it's probably early menopause. Next, I think you're probably depressed. You've got a lot on. Would you like some antidepressants? No, no, and no. Hence my researchy head went, okay, what is going on? Private blood testing later, I was told very clearly, you're heading for diabetes and a heart attack. And I'm very surprised that you're still functioning because your vitamin status is through the floor. I'm a fitness instructor, supposedly understand nutrition. How the heck had this happened to me? And he then said, and by the way, you've got Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And I said, I'm sorry? What heck's that? He explained it was an issue to do with my thyroid that was caused by something called leaky gut. Now, gut-brain connection was something that I wasn't totally new to. Why? Because I had been in rehab for alcohol addiction. And I understood that what was going on physiologically and in my head was not one or other, as we say in the North. It was both. I was physiologically, biochemically addicted to alcohol. My body didn't deal with it very well. Sugar, sugar, and sugar. That was my thing. There I am, little fat me. Yes, I said the word fat. It's not a swear word, although today you might think it is. Why is this moving all on its own, by the way? Because I'm touching nothing. So the picture, I'll try and go backwards. That is me, about 5, 6, addicted to sugar, stealing sweets. My dad was in the food industry. Funny that I had an eating disorder. And sugar was my addiction. I could get it for free anytime I wanted. And I did. I stole sweets. But when I got to secondary school, suddenly I was aware I was different. I wasn't accepted the size I was. Stocky. Well built. It's only puppy fat. She'll lose it. Well, it didn't happen. And so I decided to go on a diet, except I was rubbish. I'm going to stick to it. All of my friends were following. I'm going to show you my age now, not touching anything, moving on its own. The F plan diet. Do you remember it? Was it here in the US? Okay, so it's a UK thing. We had a lazy, very, very bouncy leotard leggings, right? It was all about the new dieting clubs, and she was one of the first in the UK, Rosemary Connolly. I do believe she's now bankrupt. That's a whole other story. I couldn't stick to this diet. And I discovered that I could stick my fingers down my throat, though, and get rid of it. And so I did. So bulimia became my identity for quite a long time. And I got to such a low weight that I was threatened by my father, bless him, that if I didn't eat, he would put me in hospital and force food down me. Arrogant little person that I was, bit fiery, bit gingerhead. I was like, nobody's going to feed me. So I decided that I would take it upon myself to get over my bulimia. I'm not going to go into the details of how hard that was, but I'd gotten to the point where I was under 6 stone and couldn't keep water down. It was coming up automatically because my system was so used to everything coming up. The pain of keeping food in, I'm not even going to go there. Problem was, I had no clue of hunger, no clue how to eat like a normal person. And so in the space of 6 months, I went from, that picture's about a stone heavier than I was. So I went from 6 stone, just under, to 12 in the space of a few months. I hated it. This is something I hear from my clients, and no doubt you guys do. Obese and overweight clients do not like themselves. They hate their body. We grab bits and we pull at it. We want to chop it off. We don't like who we are. We don't choose it. It happens. And so I went back to what I knew, bulimia. Why? Because it worked. Worked first time, worked second time. Only then I'd got into exercise too and become a fitness instructor. So I needed to hide it. And alcohol became my friend. So my story lended me to leaky gut. I was addicted to laxatives. I was throwing up multiple times a day for years. Is it any surprise I had leaky gut and ended up with Hashimoto's? No. I also have another autoimmune disease called Sjogren's. You may have heard of that one too. Famous tennis player. Yes, one of the Williams sisters. It means that you get a very dry mouth. You're having to drink all of the time. You also don't make tear ducts very well. Yeah. In fact, all your moist bits become dry. Ladies, you know what I mean. So it's not fun. But I understood that that was the legacy of my disordered eating. I also discovered that I needed to look at how to help my body, and I did. I became a fitness instructor, but I also became a geek, as I said. I was fortunate enough to go into rehab. And after rehab, I started to look at the whole gut-brain connection and why was I an addict? Because I was, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm fully recovered now. Alcohol is not a thing. I'm completely ambivalent to it. It's there, it's liquid, end of. Does nothing for me. However, if you've ever come across an alcoholic or alcohol addicted person, I'm not a fan of the term alcoholic, I have to say. You will notice that a lot of them put loads of sugar in their tea. And they have biscuits by the handful. If you've ever been to a 12-step meeting, they are in there because we just swap one thing for the other. When I was drinking, my food issue wasn't a massive thing anymore. Hooray, I'm cured of it, they thought. No, but down the alcohol comes the food. Add in stress, and the heart attack happened. So I needed to find out what was going on. And what I recognized was that I was hungry, but not hungry for food, hungry for safety, for love, for validation, for affection, for a sense of enoughness. And I hadn't had those as a child. And this is why when I work with my clients, I don't give them a diet sheet. I don't give them an exercise program. I could. I'm a fitness instructor. I know exactly what to do and I work out myself daily. That's not where we start. We start with, are you physically or emotionally hungry? Because unless you're physically hungry, food is never the answer. But to those of us addicted to sugar, it flipping well is. And we need to learn what to do instead. Let me tell you about Claire, one of my clients. I spoke to her about the different types of hunger. There are 7. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. And I explained to her that she needed to know which hunger she was actually feeding. Claire was 56. I had known her when I was that little fat kid in the picture because we'd stolen sweets together in my shop. She had spent her life yo-yo dieting. Since she was 11, she'd struggled. Her parents had died within the space of 6 weeks of each other. She'd had a panic attack, ended up in A&E, and been told that she needed to go on blood pressure medication. And that's when she came to me. And she said, Vic, I know you're not on medication now. I know you've got an autoimmune issue, and I know you've had a heart attack. I need you to help me. And so I spoke to her about the 7 different types of hunger. And that's when she realized she had been eating unconsciously for years. Now, Michelle mentioned that yesterday. Yeah. We have connections to food. We're looking for a feeling, a connection, an association, something, a memory that these foods give us. And so we needed to look at why was she eating? Once she realized how to connect to her body, I teach people the sway, how to connect, how to touch, and how to play. She lost 2 stone in the space of 4 weeks. No dieting, no restrictions, no nothing, because she started to recognize that she needed to feed her hunger with other things than food, because it wasn't physical hunger she was trying to feed. The other thing that she needed was a powerful why. And she said to me, Vic, I do not want my kids to see what I saw. Both of my parents crippled because of massive amounts of medication to treat symptoms that had long since disappeared because the symptoms now were the side effects of the medication that they were on for the first thing they were being treated for. How many times do we hear this? Patients and clients come to me with a shopping list of drugs. And what really gets me is they don't know what they're for. They have no clue. Why do they not know? Oh, I didn't like to ask. They might think I'm stupid. And so this is why she decided she wanted to go medication-free, lower her blood pressure through lifestyle choice. We looked at her sleep. We looked at her exercise. We looked at, crucially, her language and her thinking. And I'm a big language buff. Why? Because the words we use have associations, connections, interpretations. And they mean a lot, but they mean different things to all of us, right? I'm here in the UK. I wear something called a bomb bag. You call it a fanny pack. It's very confusing, right? We have lifts. You have escalators. The words are similar, but not the same. And there is confusion. Your boot is our bonnet. Our bonnet is your hood. It gets very confusing, but words have associations for us in context. She saw her parents struggle. Alzheimer's was kicking in. They weren't able to move properly. And she said to me, Vic, I don't want my kids to go through what I went through with my parents. That was her powerful why. And so the second thing is we have to have a reason. What is going to make us happy? Her knowing that she was going to be able to look after herself, her kids, and her grandkids was a powerful why for her to want to change how she felt about her weight. And this is why when we're talking to our clients, we need to help them to, first of all, be aware. Why are you eating? Which of the 7 hungers are you feeding? And then we need to ask better questions about, do you want to lose weight? Hands up, those of you who love to be told what to do. How about being lectured at, shaken fingers, tutted? No one. And yet, we tell our clients and our patients, you need to lose weight because your blood pressure is too high. You need to lose weight because if you don't, diabetes. You need to lose weight because fill in your own blank. How about asking them, how do you feel? What is your weight stopping you from doing? How would you feel? What would you like to do if you weren't carrying around the weight? Can we create a vision of their happiness, personal, to them, not ours, because you should, because it's good for your health? What do you want? Adele, the singer. Do you all know Adele, the singer? Yeah. Remember in lockdown? And we had that kind of little bit where we were allowed out and then we weren't. And she did a concert. She did a massive reveal of her 7 stone weight loss. She looked stunning, right? Yeah. And everybody wanted to know, what diet have you been on? What did you do? Instead of asking her, what prompted you to want to change? Now, here's the thing. I kind of know what happened with Adele. She was sat down opposite her tour manager. I wasn't there. I'm going to imagine this is what she said. Right, so you want me to go on tour for like 13 months, and I need to know how to handle my anxiety without putting on a ton more weight. I don't know if she speaks like that, but she's got a bit of an accent. Here's the thing. She wanted to manage her anxiety on tour. She also wanted to be a good role model for her son. She got divorced in 2015. She was basically a single parent. She was going to be on the road. She wanted him to see how to live a healthy lifestyle, to do life successfully. She started working out first. She didn't change her diet to begin with. She recognized exercise helped her to feel better and to manage her anxiety. At the moment, we've got a society that turns to food to feel better and manage their anxiety. And until we can change that, there's always going to be an obesity crisis. She had a powerful why, so that when people tried to nudge her out, oh, go on, have one dose, just missed your workout this time, she said no, because she had that vision. She wanted to stay in control of her anxiety and she wanted to be a good role model. Do we know our clients why? Do we know what's going to make them happy? Because if we don't, we're doing them a massive disservice. I ask my clients to visualize it. I ask them to describe what they would do, how they would feel in detail. Picture it, draw it, talk about it, get excited about it. It's their body, it's their life, and it's their choice. We've got to look at the language that they use. My friend Claire was so into diet speak, she was oblivious. She was talking about being good. What do you mean being good? You're not a child. Naughty food. Where has this language come from? Speak like a human. Speak like a grown-up. Right? Food isn't bad, naughty, dirty, clean. It's just food. It has nutrients. It provides a purpose. It helps us to function so we can do the stuff we love with the people who matter. We need to ask our clients, what is your why? So we need hunger and happiness to be at the forefront. The last thing we need to focus on is hormones. Metabolic health, crucial. Everything starts with a cell, right? Brain, skin, the lot. Nothing functions without cells being healthy. It's not rocket science. We don't chop cells off here at the neck, right? All of our body works together. My thoughts right now are creating a biochemical and neurophysical response in my body. Every thought you think, every word you say is creating a response and a reaction. that may or may not start off a cascade of stress hormones or other hormones, or switch off receptors or switch on other receptors. We need to know this is the stuff that matters. What we think about, we bring about. Where our focus goes, grows. If you're talking weight, if you're thinking weight, if everything is in numbers to do with your size and your weight, you are preoccupied with weight. How much fun does that make life? Not at all. Am I allowed this? Is it clean? Is it bad? How many points? That's not a way to live. We can help our clients who can't do a massive amount of exercise, who don't want to focus on food, who have had enough of diets and medication, who want to take control. We need to look at the basics. I had a fantastic health coach, and this is a little ditty that he shared. Methods, there are many. Principles, but few. Methods keep on changing, but principles never do. Our body works on principles. We need air. We need water. We need sleep. We need to procreate because your brain wants you to survive. And we need nutrients. But they're all equal. One isn't better than the other. One isn't more important than the other. Put them in context. If we want our body to work well, we got to stop doing this. Posture is massively important. How many of our obese clients, overweight clients, struggle with joint pain, struggle to sit properly? Yeah. Why? Because it hurts. Okay. But if we can get them to just change their posture slightly, not a lot. Gretchen brought up James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, yesterday. 1% better. That's all. We need them to work on their posture just a little bit, multiple times a day. It's not hard. Change your foot position, put a cushion behind your back, change how you're sleeping. Posture affects breathing. Crucial. Not sitting there going, that's not what I mean. But how many of us think we breathe really well? Not one person in this room, so you all know that we absolutely don't. And why is that? Because nobody talks to us about how to breathe, right? We know we should be nose breathing. Why? Because it helps with nitric oxide production. Why is that important for our obese and overweight clients? Why is it important for cellular function, for hormones? It's huge. Why is nobody talking about it? Breathing and posture go together. We have to sit up, stand up, so that our rib cage can expand, so our diaphragm's got space to move, and we need to work it like a muscle. Can our obese clients do this? Sure they can. Do they need special equipment? No. Does it cost any money? No, it's free. Do we just need to teach them some techniques? Can we use breathing to help anxiety? Yes, we can. Can we use breathing to change them from feeling dysregulated, as Laurie shared yesterday? We have a lot of nervous dysregulation when we are addicted to food. Breathing can help with that. It's not rocket science. 1 minute makes a big difference. And the last thing is movement. No, I didn't say exercise. I said movement. Are we in the mood to participate at PAD this morning, folks? Can we stand up out of our seats? Fantastic. Wonderful. Can we sit down again? That wasn't that hard, was it? Did you stand up again? Did you sit down again? It's not rocket science. It's movement. Everything is connected. If we breathe well, if we have better posture, what does it mean for our clients? They're going to sleep better. What do we know about our obese and overweight clients when it comes to sleep apnea? It's a huge problem, massive. right? Will this help if they practice it during the day? Yeah. Do they need to go somewhere special to do it? No. Do they just need a little bit of understanding of how to do it for them in their environment? Yeah. Now, does it mean that that is the answer? We just focus on posture and breathing and what have you? Of course not. But it's a blooming good start for our obese clients who, quite frankly, have had enough of trying harder, who do better for their own good. They don't want to hear it. They want to do stuff they can do. They want to take charge. They want to take control. Hunger, happiness, hormones. When I was in that hospital bed, I had 2 days of pondering, and I vowed to myself I would never be in that situation again. And in that time period between me losing the weight that I'd put on through stress eating, I came up with a food freedom system. And this is the basics of it: the happiness, the hunger, the hormones. Do I educate people on nutrition? Of course I do. Do I make it simple? Yeah. Speak the language of our clients. They don't care if you've got degrees. They don't care about wonderful tech speak. Over their head. Not important. Don't make them feel less than or stupid. They are individuals. Gretchen shared it. Raoul shared it. Michelle shared it. Laurie shared it. We are all human beings with feelings, not figures, not data. We need individual help, but we can do it very easily through apps that Soren is talking about, that we spoke about yesterday. The two ladies who talked about a client-centered approach, kids, schools. The opportunities are endless. If we want to reduce and actually reverse this obesity crisis that, quite frankly, we know started with fast food way back when, we have got to take it upon ourselves to make it easy and simple for our clients to help themselves. Stop telling them what to do. Start helping them to create a healthy lifestyle for themselves. I would love you guys in this room to help me, to help others. I can see the food freedom system in every gym, in every healthcare facility, in every school, because it's not hard. We've lost the art, as James Nestor says in the title of his book, The Lost Art of Breathing. We've lost the art of the basics: communication, clear, making people feel human, connection, community, love, self-love. All of these things we can help people to find, but we've got to be compassionate. We've got to be empathetic, and we've got to stop telling people you need to lose weight for the good of your health. Thank you. If you would like to connect with me, folks, please do. My Linktree link is there. If you like the old phone, stick it over and click the link. I have actually got on my Linktree that 7 hungers handout if you're interested. I've also got another one that's very popular with my clients, which is telling people what their cravings mean in terms of emotionally, what they're looking for. So please do have a look at those for resources for yourself. If there's any questions.